A perfect Saturday afternoon at Sewell Thomas Stadium in Tuscaloosa. The Alabama Crimson Tide, after stealing Game 1 behind some history of this three-game series yesterday, look for a series win against the 18th-ranked Florida Gators in the second weekend of SEC play. With that, we welcome you to the Joe. He's the former Alabama outfielder David Kindred. I'm Casey Roll. Yesterday was billed as a heavyweight battle between arguably two of the top prospects in the upcoming MLB draft in Liam Peterson and Justin LeBron. But Tyler Fay stole the show. But some history behind him. How does Alabama build off of that to possibly take the series today?
It was a Friday night when the lights were shining bright, and Tyler Fay took the ball and absolutely commanded the entire game. 132 pitches, 13 punch-outs in a big way. Alabama needed to get on the scoreboard in an SEC win.
We were told that there were more than 24 professional scouts yesterday, arguably looking at Peterson and LeBron. Tyler Fay, who had a pro opportunity last year, passed that up to return to Tuscaloosa, did not disappoint. 9 innings, a career high in innings pitched and pitches thrown, and he also had his strikeout stuff working for him as well. Racked up 13 Ks against the Florida lineup, which had scored 7.5 runs per game entering its last 6 games. Authored the first solo 9-inning no-hitter for Alabama since 1942, and Eddie Okar did so in Oxford against Ole Miss. 132 pitches thrown for Fay. How does Alabama follow that up today?
I mean, obviously, everybody that was in attendance on that one was blown away, but I think it's enjoy it tonight, get back on the horse today.
Let's take a look at the Florida lineup led by 19th-year head coach Kevin O'Sullivan. First time in his career he has been no-hit. First time that Florida has been no-hit as a team since June of 1963. That season they had a win percentage just under 77%, a school record that held for 57 years. Can they build off of that the rest of the year? As a bunt dropped by Kyle Jones in front of the plate is gunned over the first. John Lem and Luke Vaughn work in tandem. First pitch, first outs. First time that we get to talk about Zane Adams today. He was rocked around last year against the Gators in Gainesville. What's his complexion need to look like today?
He's the experienced starter for Alabama, a 3-year weekend starter, 3-1 thus far, making his 6th start this year. The K to walk ratio very good at 27.5. Fastball 91 to 95. Changeup is the plus pitch along with a curveball, and he's got to have that working early.
Alabama head coach Rob Vaughn having a word with the home plate umpire Clint Fagan. Looks like they call that a foul ball that Jones had dropped down for a potential bunt hit. So the leadoff man remains at the plate to begin the second game of the series. 0-2 to Jones.
And yeah, you can see it right there. Tried to lay down the bunt, but you can see it hits the left arm in the box, and that just is a strike and bring him back. Adams ahead in the count, 0-2.
Jones is one of the 3 Florida base runners that got on base. 2 walks for Fay, 1 batter reached, and a fielder's choice. Florida did attempt a couple bunt opportunities midway through that game yesterday in a bid to potentially break up that budding no-hitter. 2-ball and 2-strike count to Jones, the former Stetson All-American with the Hatters a couple years ago. Underwent season-ending shoulder surgery last year after 4 starts played. That's down, counts full.
Yeah, Casey, you just talked about it. The Stetson Hatter transfer, 24 stolen bags that year. This is the guy that needs to jumpstart the offense for Florida after being no-hit yesterday to get on base and cause some havoc.
Payoff pitch is stung out toward left field, just as what happened yesterday. A leadoff fly ball to left. Justin Osterhaus, who recorded that final out in Tyler Fay's no-hitter yesterday, completes the first out today in the second game of the series.
A good start for Zane Adams, and I think that's really, we talked about being very good, and that was kind of what Tyler Fay was getting through the first 1, 2, 3 innings. Obviously, you got to handle it right here, but coming with your stuff, and Zane Adams been a starter since his freshman year, really burst onto the scene. His freshman year made his first start against the #1 Arkansas and beat them SEC Pitcher of the Week. Need him to really rely on that here today.
Blake Sear takes down in the dirt for ball 1. The Florida lineup 1 through 6 has the same cast of characters as it was yesterday. The order is a little shuffled. Sear yesterday hit 3rd. He bats in the 2-hole for UF this afternoon. Soft roller to 3rd. Jason Torres, who's improved exponentially this year at the hot corner, handles his first chance at 3rd. 2 down.
Real quick, 2 weak contacted balls, and that's what Zane Adams kind of taking a note out of Tyler Fay's book. How deep can you go in a game and save your pitches? Because Zane Adams is not going to blow your doors off with the fastball. We talked about he can get it up to 93, 94 miles an hour, but locating it inside and out, and if the changeup's working, will make that fastball appear much faster.
Couple of quick outs. Brendan Lawson went around on the appeal check. No ball, 1 strike count to the preseason All-American. First team freshman All-American last year. He was the final out in yesterday's ball game, flew out to left. In 2 at-bats last year against Adams in Gainesville was hitless, had a strikeout and a ground out. He's got his first at-bat against Adams today in Tuscaloosa.
The reason why he's the #1 prospect next year, obviously his bat, but he hits left-handers really well too.
Spray the other way, left field, down the line. Osterhaus giving chase. He's at the wall. It fades foul. Just wide of that 320 marker in left.
Lawson leads the club with a 386 average, also leading the team through 4 games in SEC play with a 300 average. This is a team that's batting collectively 170 through 4 games. Now, it's only 4 games, Casey, but after last night, you really feel like you have to make a response for yourselves personally against Alabama on the road.
1-2, pounded on the ground the second. Brennan Holtz on the first. 3 up, 3 down inning for Adams. This Florida pitching staff is filthy, man. I'll tell you what. Yesterday was Liam Peterson. Today it's Aiden King, arguably the top sophomore arm in the country. He goes to work for the first time when we return in Tuscaloosa. Clean 3 up, 3 down inning for Zane Adams on the mound for Alabama. He's got a tall task in front of him. Opposite of him, the NCAA leader in lowest ERA in the sophomore Aiden King. He has not allowed an earned run through 5 starts. He was spectacular last year as a freshman. How has he gotten even better as a sophomore this year, DK?
And I think it's right there. You see the K to walk ratio, 26-3. That means not only is your stuff really good, you're not putting yourself in a jam. And the whip, we said anywhere at 1 is really good, .94 is electric. So 23 in a third innings, no earned runs given up to this point. So it's going to be a fastball 91-93 that it can run it up to 95.
He was electric last week at home at Condren Family Ballpark in Gainesville against South Carolina after Liam Peterson took the rock in Game 1. King followed it up with a King-like performance in Game 2. 9 strikeouts against the Gamecocks, allowed 2 hits, 1 walk allowed. He's been spectacular for the Gators. Opened up his freshman year last year as a midweek starter, took over in the weekend rotation due to injuries, and he's taken the reins and run with it. Speaking of running away with things, Bryce Fowler at the top of the Alabama order yesterday had a multi-hit game off of Liam Peterson. What's he got to do to get that same complexion against King?
It's having a good at bat early, and I think the respect is going to be there. You see it already, the defense for Florida expecting some small ball, but manufacturing as well.
Big wave and a miss from Fowler to begin this first frame. And David, you alluded to the shift yesterday in the first. Fowler did take advantage of the Florida infield alignment on that left side. Not playing that heavy dead pull shift with two infielders also converged on the right side. A lot more space between the third and shortstop. Sprayed foul to left. 1-2.
And Florida, we saw that graphic, swept South Carolina at the house last week. It was really on the shoulders of King and Peterson. King had to be really good. You saw the score 3-0, but had to keep that game where it was. The offense is still slowly trying to get going again. And you can see it right there. 19-4 record, 3-1 in the SEC. Obviously, 3.15 ERA as a club is going to keep you in the majority of games.
He fans Fowler to begin his afternoon.
And good start for Florida, and King looked like an off-speed pitch that may have been a splitter right there that he just got up in the zone, more of a chase pitch. Got it for strike three, and really what this Florida team needs to calm down everything that happened last night and to believe that they belong on the road.
First superstar matchup of the afternoon. Aiden King against Justin LeBron, a pair of All-Americans last year. LeBron takes a strike. He's one of two Alabama hitters without a hit yesterday in the Crimson Tide series opening win. Ball on the strike.
It was a quiet night with the bat, but played a good defensive glove that you saw that the arm was displayed, and also created a little bit of havoc on the base pass too.
2 balls in the strike. Projected to be the top SEC draft pick in this upcoming MLB draft. All-conference first team a couple years ago. Count evens at 2-2. According to Kylie McDaniel, ESPN's draft insider, projected to be number 3 on the board this upcoming summer. Rock Chalowski at UCLA is the consensus number 1 pick for 2026. That's down, count runs full.
And to your point, Casey, the rankings are one thing, and I think the rankings are good, but it's all based upon what the specific MLB team's needs are, and that it doesn't really matter what certain rankings are. If one person believes in Justin LeBron or Chalowski, you're dead set on him.
LeBron sprays it in the air, foul ground to left. Sear runs out of room. We'll allude to some of the top prospects in the country for this upcoming Major League Draft. Derek Curiel, after a phenomenal freshman year last year as an everyday guy for the eventual national champion LSU Tigers. Right behind him at number 6, Christopher Hakopian at A&M. And we saw Liam Peterson yesterday. That's outside. LeBron draws a walk. First base runner of the day belongs to Alabama.
Well, back to that graphic, pick your poison. It's just the light shine brighter in the SEC, and it's because of some elite ball players that you saw. But the really interesting thing about Justin LeBron, Casey, is 1 home run in his career in high school. So that just kind of tells you the upside and the ceiling for him is so much higher. And so for somebody that's dead set on him, there's much more to come.
1 on and 1 gone for Brady Neal. Thrust into the lineup as Alabama's right fielder yesterday to get some at-bats for John Lem at the catcher spot. Was recruited out of high school as a catcher, brought to Alabama from LSU as a catcher, but showcasing the versatility by finding some innings in the outfield. The bat played in the outfield as well. Pair of hits against Florida yesterday. Also drew a pair of walks. Inside.
Middle of the lineup guy, but Brady Neal not afraid to lay down the bunt, and you saw it yesterday. He laid down that bunt, and I talked to Coach Rob Vaughn before the game. He said he saw that instinctually. He saw the opportunity, took it there, and it turned into an RBI.
How rare do you feel like that is for a catcher? Maybe not the most notable fleet of foot for a guy to just have the instinctual awareness to have the ability to lay down a bunt against the shifts.
I think you have to look at it from a scenario of, one is, can you catch somebody by surprise, Casey? And the third baseman yesterday was Serwick. He was playing a little bit deeper. It was 2 outs, and you're not expecting that. Now, do you have to lay down a good bunt? Absolutely, but you don't have to be the most fleet of foot.
Wide of the zone, 2 balls and a strike to Neal. Team leader in batting average, on-base percentage, and hits. Showing a keen eye at the plate as well for Rob Vaughn's Crimson Tide lineup. There goes LeBron, spray the other way, left center, that finds outfield grass. LeBron getting the stop at third as it comes back into the infield. Bama's got something cooking in the first. Back-to-back one-out base runners against Aiden King.
And Alabama stays on the offensive with Brady Neal. Couldn't tell if that was a hit and run, but it was a fastball center cut. Brady Neal strikes a gap. Justin LeBron on the run, didn't check up. It's one of those where no matter what, you keep going, line drive or not, you're dead to rights, but got into the gap. Alabama's got something going with 1 out in the first.
And it's almost like a copy and paste from yesterday. The Crimson Tide had 2 base runners against Liam Peterson. He would ultimately get out of that first inning without any runs coming across, but that pitch count was rising in the first. Jason Torres has a chance to give the Tide the first run of the game.
And that's the time to get Aiden King. We talked about the earned runs, but still giving up some runs in 2026. He's only given up runs in the first and the third inning, 3 and 5 respectively. So this is the time, if you're looking at the stats, you can get King.
Torres lays down the bunt. King off the mound. Only plays to first. They get the out there. First time all year a team has scored an earned run against King. LeBron comes in to score, and just like yesterday, Alabama's got the early lead. They strike first against the Gators.
That's just how you manufacture. Doesn't matter if you're facing a guy like Aiden King or another guy throwing 85 miles an hour. You get a couple of hits, move them over, you get aggressive with probably the hit and run or the steal, and then Jason Torres lays down a very good sacrifice bunt.
RBI chance for John Lem. The Alabama catcher from Australia takes down for ball 1. We allude to Brady Neal playing in the outfield to get more at-bats for him in the lineup. Also to keep Lem's bat in the order. He is a catcher only for the Crimson Tide. Has played excellent defense behind the plate, but his bat has also played in SEC action. He's 5 for 15 with 4 runs driven in and 2 home runs through the early stage of the conference slate.
Getting his bat going has been big for Alabama, but the hits have been, 2 of those 5 have been home runs last weekend against Kentucky, so they need the slugging to improve. Now, we've seen Alabama use the manufacturing of runs, a lot of singles, no home runs yesterday, but need the slugging to continue.
Neal gets a jump from second base on the liner from Lem. Out made by Strayer and Wright to retire the side, but Alabama strikes against Aiden King, able to do something that nobody's been able to do against him all year, score an earned run off of him.
The days of breaking streaks, and Jason Torres lays down the bunt to plate the first run for Alabama, 1-0.
of the second at Sewell Thomas Stadium in the second game of this three-game weekend series. Week 2 of the SEC Conference slate. Just like yesterday, Alabama strikes first against 18th-ranked Florida. A couple premier arms for the Gators in Liam Peterson and Aiden King. Maybe overlooked in this series what Alabama starters have been able to do in their careers. As we look at last year in Gainesville, round 2 between King and Adams, between the Gators and the Tide. First pitch, foul ball, hit the other way by Carson Bowen.
They're really good, as Casey said, a rematch. It was a rematch on Friday, and today another rematch. Again, Aiden King got the best of Zane Adams, going 6 in the third. 8 strikeouts, but really what ran Zane Adams was the slow start in the first.
Completely juxtaposed compared to what he did last year to already unfolding this year. In Gainesville, he allowed 2 home runs, gave up a season and career high 3 round trippers at Condren Family Ballpark. Bowen sprays it to left field. Osterhaus can only watch it. That's into the netting. No doubt for Carson Bowen. And the Florida Gators, with their first run, their first hit of the series, have tied it in the second.
Talking about teeing that one up, Casey, it looked like an off-speed pitch that was staying up in the zone. And that ball was tattooed out deep to left field. Bowen getting Florida a shot in the arm they needed on the offensive side.
They had been 0 for 30 in this series before that home run. First pitch breaking ball lands for a called strike to Cash Strayer. 1 through 6 hitters for Florida are the same as it was yesterday. Strayer, drill walk. One of 3 base runners against Tyler Fay. What's that say about Kevin O'Sullivan keeping a freshman in the lineup, lefty against one of the more crafty Alabama lefties in the rotation?
I think he's got a lot of confidence in his freshman. Said that Cash Strayer reminds him a lot of Brendan Larson. Now, is he there yet? No, but he's got the stuff to be that.
Sees 3 pitches, and he's racked up for a strikeout. Adams punches out his first batter of the day. Sit his first hitter down in this second.
And yeah, you got to bounce back like that with the off-speed pitch that he just didn't quite land, and that was buried where you want it. 0-2 to get the big strikeout.
One out, nobody on, with Ethan Surowick stepping in. The Ole Miss transfer takes a fastball down at 92. 3 at-bats yesterday, had 3 strikeouts against Fay. Ball and a strike.
But a guy that's no stranger to the SEC, the transfer out of Ole Miss, and probably coming into this series one of the hottest hitters for Florida outside of the South Carolina series and their midweek matchup.
Coming into yesterday, he had 3 straight multi-hit games, was hitting over 500 in that span, drove in 5 runs, but ran into Tyler Fay and the Alabama Crimson Tide yesterday. One, 2. Gunned it the other way to right. First chance for Brady Neal to work in the outfield grass. 2 down.
Looked like another slider. Handcuffed Surowick. Giving up the solo home run early and getting back on the hump and going back to work in Zane Adams.
2 outs. Here's Cole Stanford. The Florida DH takes a strike. Came on as a pinch hitter yesterday late in the game. Flew out to center field against Tyler Fay. Breaking ball lands for a called second strike.
That's where you want to live. That had some nice bite right there. Looked like more of a slurve curve right there.
Oh, 2 wide. A ball and 2 strikes to the Division II All-American Stanford. Played last year at Lenore-Rhine in Hickory, North Carolina. Count holds a ball and 2 strikes. Adams comes home with another 1-2 to Stanford. Lazy fly, right side. Luke Vaughn in foul territory makes the squeeze. Adams retires the side, but Florida answers with a home run in the second.
And a hanging slider by Adams. That one was tagged deep to left field to tie this game up after 2.
Playing into the last of the second at Sewell Thomas Stadium. Alabama struck first in the first. In the second, Carson Bowen answered with Florida's first hit and run of the series. A solo shot to level the score here in the second game of this 3-game series as we look at the all-time history between the Gators and the Tide. A series that's been dominated by Alabama at home, but recently Florida has won 25 of the last 30 meetings, which includes 10 straight series spanning over the last 2 decades. A win for Bama today snaps that 10 straight series losing streak to the Gators.
I think that would be big for Alabama today, but history, yes, Kevin O'Sullivan has really owned the Tide. They have not won a series, Alabama, since 2008.
First pitch strike lands at 92 to the Alabama designated hitter Will Plattner. Crimson Tide captain has been seeing the ball well since the start of conference play began a week ago. Curveball's down. It evens up in the ball and the strike. Got his opportunity last weekend in Lexington against the Wildcats. Went 3 for 7 against Kentucky with 2 runs driven in 2 games played.
Casey, you want to talk about riding the hot hand. It was a very slow start, batting 185 overall, but in SEC play, leading the team with a 400 average.
Plattner sprays it into the air of the shallow left center. Kyle Jones, his first opportunity on the outfield grass. 1 down.
A 92-mile-an-hour fastball up in the zone. And King just going right after Plattner. Plattner just couldn't get the hands above it. And I think for Florida, it feels really good to get that first batter out and off the base pass, which has not been done consistently yesterday. Alabama 6 of 8 getting the first runner on.
Justin Osterhaus ambushes the first pitch out toward left. One left fielder flies to another. Blake Sear is there. How's Aiden King really settled in? Gave up that run in the first 22 pitches, couple quick outs in the second. What have you noticed from on the mound?
Yeah, I think that it was the off speed that was staying up in the zone, but then was not landing it for the strike, and Alabama sitting on the fastball, and they were hitting it pretty hard. But I think Aiden King working ahead, getting strike one, because once you start, some of these guys, we talked about Tyler Fay yesterday, got better as the game goes on. Aiden King is one of those, a workhorse that can go 6-7 innings too.
Fastball down the chute for a called strike to Luke Vaughn. Got a single yesterday in the opener, extended his on-base streak to a team leading 19 straight games. Down 0-2. Converted catcher playing first base due to a shoulder injury that he sustained last year. Forced him to miss all of his 2025 season. 0-2 is through. Good evening, good afternoon. 3 pitches, 3 down. Aiden King retires the Tide in order.
Yeah, Aiden King going up the ladder to get the big strikeout against Luke Vaughn to keep the score where it is. Knotted up 1-1.
Rocking and rolling into the third here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. The fans are out. Those who got to see history yesterday are hoping to see some series history today. It's been 18 years since Alabama's taken a series against Florida after a Game 1 win yesterday. Have a chance to take the series in Game 2. If Cade Curlin has his way, that might possibly force a rubber game tomorrow. The former All-American who's been derailed by debilitating injuries in 2025. 14 games played before a season-ending shoulder surgery derailed what was shaping up to be a launching pad year. He's back in the lineup this weekend after dealing with an oblique injury that has sidelined him over the last 2 weeks. Zane Adams lands a strike at 79 to start this third.
And this is a guy for Coach O'Sullivan. He talks about this is a middle of the lineup type of bat. Losing him last year, that caused that roller coaster season in the SEC that Florida had, going their first 4 series going 1-11. That's hard to dig out of that one, but they absolutely did, winning the last 6 series to go 15-15.
And that is another thing too, talking with Coach O'Sullivan about this year's team, trying to avoid that type of a hole. He'd said that there's still a lot that this team needs to show offensively with a lot of rotating pieces, maybe some guys hitting lefties better than righties. It's not a full lineup that you can pencil 1 through 9, so there's still a lot of pieces of a revolving door type atmosphere with the Gators hitters. Count evens.
And you talked about it, Casey. You have so many good bats. Sometimes they're raw, but they're real bats, and then you have to juggle with, hey, I've got to give opportunity, or do I go with a hot hand?
2-2 is line past the second baseman, Holtz into the outfield. Back-to-back innings that Florida has gotten a leadoff man aboard. There was a solo home run for Carson Bowen in the second to tie the game. In the third, it's a leadoff knock for Kurland, his first hit since late February. Speaking of opportunities, here's Sam Miller. We alluded to the bottom of the Florida order being rotated around based off of matchups. Coach O'Sullivan saying against a left-handed pitcher, you'll see a lot more right-handed hitters. Enter Sam Miller, the Columbia transfer. Socked foul wide of third. 2025 Ivy League Player of the Year with the Lions. Hit over 330, socked 16 home runs. Two-time first-team All-Ivy. Last year, Columbia made the Hattiesburg Regional. Shocked college baseball for a day, knocking off #1 Southern Miss. He had a big decision in front of him this last offseason. I mean, as would anybody if you were at an Ivy League school, a year away from completing an undergraduate degree at an Ivy League like Columbia. 1-1 is down and away, 2 balls and a strike. When asked about it earlier in the offseason, Miller talked about wanting to test the waters just to see what the portal was like. He had some friends growing up in Pennsylvania who went to some other Division I schools, not quite the Ivy League, but other D1 schools, which gave him the opportunity to also test the waters. Counts 2-2. And Miller said it wasn't something that he was dead set on after looking at his numbers at Columbia and in the Ivy League. And he was committed to going back there for his senior year, just a year away from completing his undergrad degree. But about 2 weeks before the draft, he and his family were going back and forth about what the best course of action would be. He waves and misses. Fans against Adams for the first at-bat of this series. Kevin O'Sullivan brought him into the fold in Gainesville, and when he brings you into Gainesville and into the Florida locker rooms, you're doing some stuff right. 9 Men's College World Series appearances, that 2017 National Championship, the most notable in his near 2 decades with UF. Kyle Jones at the top of the order takes high.
Casey, that's pretty remarkable. 18 years at Florida, 9 appearances in the World Series. I mean, consistency right there, but obviously that shows you the ability to recruit and develop some elite talent that are now playing in the pro leagues.
Florida's made 9 of the last 15 College World Series, most in the NCAA by a long mile in that span. 6 SEC titles as well, 308 SEC wins since Coach O'Sullivan's taken over in Gainesville. 3 ball, no strikeout to #3 in Jones, the Florida leadoff man.
And this is where Zane Adams can't get in a jam. You're seeing off-speed pitch, and you know the fastball's coming here.
Taken all the way, 3-1. Just based off how the Gators have seen the ball to start this series, are you giving Jones the green light 3-1, or are you making him see another pitch?
I think you have to stay aggressive, but again, this is a team that rides with absolute aggressiveness. You see they are, but ball up in the zone, but there's no mistaking Coach O'Sullivan's experience. 308 wins, 6 SEC titles, and 9 Men's College World Series appearances, and taking it all as well, and putting a lot of pressure on Zane Adams right now here in the third.
What's this meeting that Jason Jackson is going to go out there and discuss about?
Yeah, I think he's going to talk to him real quick about the command. He can't, struggling right now with the off speed, but I think it's sometimes Zane Adams he's pretty fluid with his motion. Sometimes the motion to the plate can speed up a little bit when he wants to gear it up, or when he's trying to find that command. It's just maybe just a physical reset, take a deep breath, and get back on the horse and get a ground ball.
He's done an excellent job this year in controlling the strike zone his junior year with the Tide. That's his 6th walk of the season. Lowest walk rate on the Crimson Tide staff at just under 4%. Numbers were up and down last year. Opened the season as Bama's Friday night starter. Got the ball against Liam Doyle at #1 Tennessee at home last March. Moved around the rotation last year. He's got the Saturday slot today, and he's got a big spot to get out of in this 3rd frame. Blake Sear rips it right field down the line. That finds grass. Kurland around from 3rd. Neal's throw to the plate is late. For the first time all series, Florida's got the lead. The Gators biting back in game 2.
Keeping the pressure on Zane Adams, delivers a fastball down in the zone, and Sear knows exactly what to do with it, splits it the other way. And you got to know that helps you feel so much better after getting no hit on Friday night. And now you have a lead, and I promise you this offense is going to stay very aggressive. Wouldn't be surprised to see some small ball variety.
Throw over the first, and it's in time for the outs. Sear is picked off at first.
I mean, that's just a great pickoff move right there by Zane Adams. And if you're the Florida offense, you're just shaking your head. You can't get picked off like that. Not sure if he was leaning to go. Brendan Lawson showed to bunt, but getting him out of a jam almost.
David, this is actually a bit of a developing story right here. Colt Myers is pinch hitting for Lawson. He ambushes the first pitch and flies out in foul territory. Arguably the #1 pick in next year's draft has been lifted for a pinch hitter. We'll try to find out more information, but we're midway through 3. Florida's got the lead here in Tuscaloosa. Some early weekend SEC storylines in the 2nd weekend of conference play. The main story across arguably all of college baseball yesterday, Tyler Fay, a 9-inning solo no-hitter, first since April of 1942 at the University of Alabama. Bristol Carter, speaking of Alabama baseball schools in Auburn, hit a 3-run walk-off shot against Texas. 12 straight wins for the Auburn Tigers. And then the news that has stunned college baseball fans across the country. Earlier today, South Carolina head coach Paul Mainieri was ousted by South Carolina, electing to part ways with the administration. Was a 2009 national champion with the LSU Tigers. But new regime coming in Columbia, South Carolina the rest of the year. Aiden King fires wide to Brennan Holt. Speaking of developing storylines, if you're just now joining us, Brennan Lawson, the projected #1 pick in next year's draft, was lifted in favor of a pinch hitter, Colt Myers, who has remained in the game and is playing short the rest of this afternoon. We're not going to speculate why there was a change made, but what we do know is Lawson's day is over. He went 0 for 1 in that first inning. 2-1 to Holt, the Alabama second baseman. One of 7 Alabama hitters with the hit yesterday against Liam Peterson. He's in the driver's seat, up 3 balls and a strike against the freshman All-American from a year ago, Aiden King.
And Aiden King, a much better second inning, made quick work of Alabama getting that first out with the first batter. See what he does. And Brennan Holt works a walk. Yeah, Case, it'd be interesting to see. Not sure what happened to Larson, but it hurts having that leader on the field and in the middle of your lineup. So hopefully it's not anything long term. Not sure. Like Casey said, we're not going to speculate, but 1 man down for Florida, another up in Myers.
Bryce Fowler takes inside, throw back to first. Holt scampers back in there. And now time's called. First meeting on the mound with King out there. And at top of the 3rd, Jason Jackson, the Alabama pitching coach, went out to check on Zane Adams. And here it looks like we have a meeting with Aiden King on the bump.
Yeah, and probably what this is trying to, same thing for Zane Adams, of putting yourself back on a reset. We talked about leadoff walk is never how you want to begin an inning. And I think it's more about talking to Aiden King, talking about competing in the zone. Your stuff is good enough. Don't have to be perfect. Let your defense work. And I think we talked about this guy's going to got in the tank to go 90+ pitches. And there's no reason why he still can't do that where we are in the game.
David Kopp, first time we get to take a look at the Florida pitching coach this afternoon. 2 ball, no strike count to Fowler. Struck out in the first inning.
And so Bryce Fowler right here, 2-0 count, leadoff walk. Do you ambush a fastball?
He lays off to get in the driver's seat. Now, follow-up question there. If he sees a fastball 3-0, are you feeling comfortable with how he swung the bat this week and to let him swing 3-0?
I think at this point, with Justin LeBron on deck, you take the pitch right here. He's shown that he's been sporadic with commanding all pitches to this point. I think you take another one.
Four pitches, 4 balls. Alabama's cooking in the 3rd. They've got 2 on with nobody out.
It's unique, that wasn't a terrible pitch. That ball was somewhat in the zone, but it's kind of like last night with Tyler Fay. He was just living in and around the strike zone and just expanded late in the games. And for umpires, if you're sporadic and all over the place, you don't get those 50-50 calls.
Round 2 of a heavyweight matchup between a pair of All-Americans. King v. LeBron. The Alabama shortstop drew a walk in the first, unable to hold up on the check swing. Christopher Griffith said he went around the first base umpire. The runners go high and tight. No throw down. Double steal works to perfection. Third in the SEC in steals entering today. They've got 2.
It was a great break by Holt. Looked like that was a straight up on his own steal. You see Bryce Fowler right behind him, and it also helped that it looked like he was King was throwing a changeup, so not really any play.
Hitless yesterday in the series opener. Can LeBron come through to potentially give Bama the lead? Curveball sprayed wide of first, out of play. Count holds.
Big at bat brewing early in this game. 2-1 score for Justin LeBron. The one thing for him to continue to hone his craft is plate discipline. and not chasing. Can he work in at bat, or can Aiden King get the first big out in the third?
Got him swinging on a breaking ball. Crucial first out of the inning for King. LeBron's dispatched.
It was just a heavy dose of sliders, and it was a well-landed slider out 2 balls outside of the plate to get Justin LeBron fishing.
Looking at the numbers for King last year, a freshman All-American campaign. Strikeout to walk ratio was absurd, considering that he started the year as a midweek starter due to injuries and opportunities for others to move into the back end of the bullpen. Became the Saturday guy for Kevin O'Sullivan, just as he is this year. Strike one to Brady Neal. Pounded a single to the opposite way. His first time up in the opening inning.
You got to be careful. Brady Neal's probably feeling it, seeing the ball really well his first at bat. But Aiden King, you've seen he's got strikeout stuff. He's worked himself into this jam, but so quickly he has the stuff to work himself out.
Alabama hit 400 with runners in scoring position yesterday. A primary amount of those opportunities came against Liam Peterson. Tails over the outer black. It's 1-2.
Yeah, that was a good riding fastball. Probably went outside the zone at the catch, but it was running away from Brady Neal as it crossed the plate.
Neal flips it the other way. That lands in the outfield. He comes through again. Bama's tied it in the third. Fowler to third, and the go-ahead run's 90 feet away.
And Brady Neal continuing to go the other way. That ball looked like it was off the plate, not a strike, but nonetheless shoots it into left field to tie this game up. Casey, we got a good one here early.
And you have to wonder how Alabama's just been able to completely flip the switch. A week ago in Lexington, they looked overmatched, according to Rob Vaughn. Just talking with him earlier in the week. Hit .225 against the Wildcat pitching staff. Jason Torres laid down a sacrifice bunt in the first. He showed bunts and takes outside. Situational numbers against the Gators last night. They got an excellent opportunity with the leadoff man reaching. Runners on, and advancement opportunities. Also a big step up from what all three of those games in Kentucky were last week. Pushed foul.
Yeah, 400 average runners in scoring position is a complete flip of the script. Coach Rob Vaughn talked about it leading up to this week. We just did not have sustained at bats, and all night Friday Alabama only scored in 2 innings, but it was every single inning there was traffic on the base pass and all the pressure that put on Florida on the road.
Another late bunt, first base side, tumbling. King played it fair, throw to first. They get the out of the sacrifice bunt. Fowler scores. Torres has driven in 2 runs on a pair of balls with exit velocities you'd see in a school zone. Alabama's retaken a lead.
Oh, your cleanup hitter. 2 sacrifice bunts, but that's what Coach Rob Vaughn talked about. He said, hey, we're going to do it our way. If the opportunity is at third base, I don't care if you hit it 389 feet for a sac fly or 9 feet. Good manufacturing for Alabama.
There's a strike to John Lem. Lined out the other way in the first.
You can see it. Alabama doing the little things. They've been manufacturing. When your average is not there, you can find a way to scratch and claw. Stolen bases, sacrifice bunts, sacrifice flies, because you know it, Casey's bet as I do. You've done many games in the SEC. You're going to face guys like Liam Peterson and Aiden King every single night. You're rarely going to get cookies right over the middle that you can slug.
And Coach Vaughn did talk about that as well. He routinely references scripture in his team meetings and in his production calls. He had said we have to play David ball. We can't play Goliath ball with the big schools in the SEC. If we play the way Florida plays in terms of talent and the way their style is, we lose 10 times out of 10. We've got to play David ball, and right now they've played that to a T. Won yesterday against arguably the top pitching prospect in the upcoming MLB draft, and against a freshman All-American last year, and a guy in Aiden King who had not allowed an earned run entering today. Alabama scored 3 earned against him. Lem pounds it back up the middle off of King. He regathers. Throw the first is true to retire the side. Alabama regains the lead in a back and forth. First 3 innings in game 2 of this 3-game series at Sewell Thomas Stadium. Captured a lead on Florida as we play into the 4th in the 2nd game of this 3-game series. Looking at the SEC and the RPI top 50, the conference is well represented. 4 teams in the top 10. Florida ranking number 10, Alabama number 43 entering today's play. RPI goes into consideration for at-large bid for NCAA regionals. Could see a lot of SEC teams in that tournament field come a few months. Second time through the order for Zane Adams. Carson Bowen tagged him for a leadoff home run in the 2nd. He takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. He's been all reliable for Florida this season due to injuries to their catching depth chart. Has caught 2 of 3 weekend games all season. Two balls and a strike. The TCU transfer was a 2nd-team All-Big 12 honoree last year with the Horned Frogs. Top 100 impact transfer for this upcoming college baseball season. 3 balls and a strike.
And your demeanor and mentality, we talked about it, Casey, in and out of the lineup, platooning on weekends, some in the midweek. You've got to have a mindset of just being ready to go. It's not consistent each and every day, but this guy's really good.
That stung out towards center field, shy of the track. Fowler's there. Leadoff batter sat down. He's put 2 balls into the air. First time, Florida fans were elated. Second time, Alabama fans exhale in relief.
And Zane Adams back on the bump going into inning 4, landing the off-speed pitch. The off-speed pitch has to be down in the zone. The fastball's got good run on it right now, velocity around 91, 92.
Castrator takes a strike. Second at bat for the Florida freshman. Saw 3 pitches and had 3 strikes on him. One of 2 strikeouts for Adams to this point. Only left-handed batter in Florida's lineup the rest of the way. If you're just now joining us, Colt Myers took over for Brennan Lawson in a pinch hit spot in that third frame. So with Lawson out of the order and Myers playing short, Strayer is the only lefty hitter. Florida did rotate some things around after yesterday being no hit. No changes in the 5 spot with Strayer hitting there as he rolls one off his foot foul. Count moves to 2-2. The numbers in terms of batting average have been alarmingly different. Looking like a possible Golden Spikes Award watch lister in February. March, the numbers haven't been very friendly in terms of average, but still finding a way to drive in runs. And that's something that Kevin O'Sullivan really showered him with praise about.
I think that's kind of the line to somewhat be expected for a freshman at times, but there's no doubt the ability, as we talked about, he compared him to a young Brent Lawson.
Runs the count full. 41st ranked recruit in the country coming out of Plant High School this past offseason. Here's the payoff. Foul tipped into the glove, strike 3. Same story, different result. 2 at-bats against Adams, 2 strikeouts.
Zane needed that one right there. There's a fastball riding up in the zone and got Strayer to chase for the second out.
Quick couple outs and the 4th with Ethan Surwick climbing in. 0-1. You
can see this go around for Zane, leading with the first pitch, more off-speed heavy rather than the fastball. Kind of mixing it up a little bit. This very aggressive Florida Gators.
Have you liked him working backwards more than starting off at bats with fastballs? Just what you've seen today?
I think you got to be deceptive at times. I mean, let's say what it is. Every single SEC game is caught. You can catch it on the SEC network. Not trying to be funny here, but I mean, there's so much you can watch and so much film where you got to be different at times. And if you don't have to show every pitch, or if you're not throwing first pitch fastball or off speed at times, you have to mix it up, especially a guy like Zane Adams or anybody on the weekend for that matter.
One-two. Just inside. Adams thought he had frozen him.
That definitely could have gone either way. 94 mile an hour down in the zone, and Lim trying to help his pitcher out. See, what do you come back with 2-2 after landing that fastball?
Comes back with a heater that's clubbed foul back toward the screen.
Now you've had 2 94 mile an hour fastball. Do you run a changeup low and away, or do you go back hard in?
Inside with the off speed, counts full.
Neither, you go slider. Another good pitch. That really was. It could have gone either way, and that makes this a tough at bat right here. Good at bat on the other side for Surwick.
Line the other way. That finds the outfield. Surwick's got his first hit of the weekend. It's a 2-out knock to keep this 4th inning alive.
As a pro at bat by Surwick, saw every single pitch. The first at bat got jammed, weak fly ball to right field, and then hits a hot shot to keep this inning alive for the Gators.
Second at bat for the Florida DH, Cole Stanford. Flew out to foul territory back in the 2nd. He's bounced around a bit throughout his collegiate career. Began his career playing junior college baseball at Gordon State in upstate Georgia. Last 3 years at Lenoir-Rhyne, Division II school in North Carolina. Ball and strike. Hit just under 400 last year in D2 ball, 20 home runs. The power has translated in the limited ABs he's had at Florida, a couple home runs in non-con play. Ball and 2 strikes on a off the end of the bat nubber that caught Lem in a sensitive spot.
Home plate umpire giving him a moment to recuperate and wear all that gear, and sometimes it's just not enough. Swing, right above the guard on the right leg.
Down evens.
We talked about Alabama offensively being able to manufacture the stolen base variety. For Florida, it's really heavily relied upon hitting. And when your hitting's not going the way you want to, only 24 stolen bags as a club to this point.
Jam shot rattled up the middle. The second baseman Holt is there to step on the bag. 4 innings in the books. Alabama's lead remains at 1. On to the last of the 4th in T-Town. Bit of a game recap if you're just now joining us. Florida was no-hit yesterday. They had been 0 for 30 to start the series up until that Carson Bowen solo home run led off the second. Florida got its first lead of the series on this RBI single for Blake Sear. That gave the Gators a 2-1 lead, but just like Alabama's done all year, not being held back when they're at home.
No, it's been back and forth, and Alabama cashed in with a Brady Neal hit that was on the heart of 2 walks by King, and then Torres, 2 sacrifice bunts, plating 2 runs, and now we have a 3-2 score going in the bottom half of the 4th.
The Alabama DH Will Plattner shoots it up the ladder on the right side of the infield. The shortstop Colton Myers is across. Came on as a pinch hitter for Brennan Lawson, has stayed in the game and played short. First put out for him in the field. Talk about those 2 sack bunts from the Bama cleanup hitter, Jason Torres.
Yeah, this was a team last year that was last in the SEC in sacrifice bunts. Let's don't get it twisted. Rob Vaughn loves to be offensive in the 3-run home run, but you were talking about it, Casey. We got to play to what we are as a club, and I think Rob Vaughn has put players together that fit that mold. Now, I believe that the home runs will continue to come. This is a club that wants to slug and hit home runs. But as you start to figure out different bullets in the gun, you have to find ways to do it against a very good pitcher and against Aiden Kings and the Liam Petersons of the SEC world.
Speaking of bullets that Rob Vaughn has fired off this season, Justin Osterhaus at times has showed you different types of calibers of rounds he can shoot off in a game of play. I mean, he's Showed his dynamic abilities on the base paths with his speed, has showcased the prowess at the plate. That stroke foul to the left and a couple hits yesterday. Spent his last couple years at Horizon League Purdue Fort Wayne, which was disbanded in this last offseason. So the Horizon League dropping from 6 schools to 5. He had committed to Alabama right before he had jumped on a plane to head out east to play in the Cape Cod Baseball League. He had switched some things with his stance out there. So you see his setup. Jared Saltalamacchi, a former big leaguer with the Boston Red Sox, won the World Series with Boston in 2013, suggested he changed some things with his stance. His setup was a little bit more closed off at Purdue Fort Wayne. That's bounced high to first, high bounder toward Ethan Surwick. Started at third yesterday, gets the call at first. Osterhaus is retired for out number 2 in the 4th.
There's still more upside that's expected from Osterhaus and Johnny Lim. Kind of those 2 middle of the lineup left-handed bats that are supposed to complement Brady Neal and Justin LeBron. It's been slow for them right now, but I do believe as they get more at bats adjusted to the SEC night in, night out, it will come together.
Luke Vaughn clubs it behind us, foul. Struck out in the second against King, one of his 3 strikeouts through 3 2/3. Oh, 2. King's looking for his second 3-up, 3-down inning of the day. And he gets it here with a strikeout of Vaughn. 4th punch out of the day through 4. Speaking of strikeouts, Tyler Fay had a bevy of those yesterday. The no-hitter man from yesterday joining us on the other side here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. Alabama yesterday got a superhero effort from Tyler Fay, authored the first solo 9-inning no-hitter for Alabama in 84 years, since April of 1942, to take down the 18th-ranked Gators in this series opener. He joined us diamond side here at Sewell Thomas Stadium as we prepare for the top of the 5th. Tyler, has the last 24 hours really sunk in for you what you were able to do yesterday?
I don't really know, honestly. It was pretty crazy. I was just trying to respond to all my text messages and stuff yesterday, and kind of just like, it's insane to realize how many people were watching and how many people saw that and stuff. So it's pretty crazy.
Tyler, 2-part question here. Can you talk about the confidence that you had going there, what it can, how that feels for you moving forward, and also talk about collectively as a team to have that type of camaraderie right at the end of the game? Talk about what that meant for you and a club.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like a win like that's huge for the confidence of the team, especially we've been scuffling a little bit. But yeah, for me personally, I mean, obviously it shows that I can go match up with anyone and go deep into games and miss a lot of barrels, which early in the year so far it's kind of been like either good or I give up a home run. So I'm not really missing a whole lot of barrels until yesterday. But yeah, it was just really good confidence-wise for the whole squad.
Cade Curlin lands a strike, 0-2. Did you and Zane go over a possible scouting report from what you were able to do yesterday in those 9 innings compared to what he could possibly do with his stuff today?
Yeah, I mean, I told him just kind of like a lot of fastballs, working in and out, up and down, just trying to get ahead and work everything in. But Obviously, me and Zane are a little bit different pitchers, so he's just trying to send his stuff and not really try to overthink or overdo anything, just do what he does.
Hey, Tyler, can I talk to you? When you were sitting in the dugout, let's say 6th, 7th, 8th inning, was everybody outside of your pitching coach, Jason Jackson, just completely giving you the cold shoulder?
Oh, yeah, no one even looked at me. It's pretty funny. Yeah, JJ's the only one I think I interacted with from like the 5th inning on, so it was pretty weird.
2-2 is flipped out toward left center field. Fowler is on the run, tracks it down, stumbles shy of the track, showcasing that speed in the outfield. You know, Tyler, we showcased that with your dugout all day yesterday. 13 strikeouts. I got to ask you, what's that 6-7 thing you guys got going on with 2 strikes? Who came up with that?
I have no idea, honestly. We've been doing a whole bunch of funny things lately, past like 4 or 5 games, and I don't know any of it means, but I think it's a lot of the like freshmen just came up with something. They get us going in here, though. It's been good.
You and me both, man. We're both part of the older Gen Zs, not the younger Gen Zs.
Old heads over here, yeah.
Tyler, I appreciate your time. Good luck the rest of your season.
Thank you guys very much. Roll Tide.
1 ball, no strike count to Sam Miller, the Florida third baseman, second time up. Number 2 takes a strike. The ball and 2 strikes to the Columbia transfer, hitting in that 9-hole this evening. Another thing, too, that pitch count for Tyler Fay, 132 through 9. Count slowly rising for Adams at 75 through 4 in the 3rd.
Casey, you led off asking Tyler Fay how he felt, you know, obviously with his stuff and maybe mentally, but I was wondering if he was going to say physically how the arm felt after going a career-high 132.
Wave and the miss, foul tip into the mitt. Adams K's Miller for the 2nd time, 4th strikeout of his day. Rob Vaughn, the Alabama head coach, after the game yesterday, just summarizing how special yesterday was. A lot of folks in this building weren't alive the last time Alabama saw a 9-inning no-hitter. Just, you get a chance to sign and move in the pro ball, and you don't get those type of memories that you get to make in your formative years, playing college ball and throwing everything out of the window in terms of money and other professional accolades as that ball is pounded on the ground to 3rd. Torres doesn't have a play. Kyle Jones is safe with 2 outs in the 5th. But I mean, I thought that was a really interesting point because I mean, he mentions pro ball and the type of money that you can make in the offseason. I mean, something that you would expect at the end of a college season in the years past. But a lot of those guys now have that same pro mentality with NIL and with agents, something you wouldn't see maybe, David, even in your playing days not too long ago.
Yeah, and I think what's really important part you can see in Tyler Fay, he's a great teammate, but also the catalyst. There's some great interviews of him that were captured.
Jones is caught in between 1st and 2nd. An errant throw from Adams allows him to get safely aboard at 2nd. They had him picked off with 2 outs, but an errant throw allows Florida to get the tying run to scoring position.
Florida staying aggressive, might have been first read no matter what. Jones took off. Errant throw, now runner in scoring position here with 2 outs.
That's flipped out towards center. Fowler tracks it down to retire the side. Florida strands the possible tying run in the scoring position. We're midway through 5. Adams has faced the minimum here in Tuscaloosa. Playing into the last of the fifth here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. Alabama leads Florida in game 2 of this 3-game series. A win today for the Tide secures their first series victory over Florida since 2008. A lot of victories across the SEC as we take a look at the early conference standings. Auburn is the last undefeated team standing in conference play in week 2 of the SEC. Texas looked like they were going to give a run for its money, but Bristol Carter hit a 3-run shot to walk it off for the Auburn Tigers, winners of 12 straight games behind that elite starting pitching rotation. There are 3 guys in their weekend staff, David, ERAs under 1. Whew. And just think, they're coming into Tuscaloosa next week and to take on these Crimson Tide hitters. Alabama's been up to the task, though, against some elite arms this weekend. Yesterday, knocked around Liam Peterson. Today, 3 runs against Aiden King, who had not allowed an earned run up until this afternoon.
A lot of fireworks going on in the state of Alabama. As you said, Casey, the best starting rotation as of right now for Auburn. Texas being one of the entire arms, really low ERA. And we've seen it on display last night for Tyler Fay. And big arms like Liam Peterson and the guy on the mound right now that's getting more comfortable, Aiden King.
That spiked in the dirt. 3-ball, no strike count to Holt. He drew a walk in the 3rd. That's up high. Second time Alabama's placed a leadoff man aboard. Both times leadoff walks for Holtz. Walk in the 3rd, walk here in the 5th.
Alabama's been trying to piece it together. 2 hits, but they've put it together through manufacturing runs with the bunt, moving guys over, and guys getting on base like Brennan Holt, who have a lot of speed, and flip it back to the top, and Bryce Fowler, who's swung a really good bat these last 2 days.
Speaking of guys with speed, the Bama leadoff hitter drew a walk his last time up. He's seen, Alabama hitters have seen 5 pitches, 5 balls in this inning as we take a look at first 14 games for Fowler. Very respectable numbers, average over 280, but last 8 games just south of 400, or at least just north of 400. He's driven in 10 runs over his last 8. Added a leadoff spot too, 10 RBI in a leadoff spot.
And that's a really good stat from a batting average perspective, and the reason why you continue to roll with Bryce Fowler is the walks that he's been able to rack up, almost 17, and he's continuing to get, when he gets on base, he's a threat to run for the Tide.
Low throw the first, almost eludes Serwick. Playing first base for the first time this series after starting at 3rd yesterday. Zane Adams fired an errant throw over the first in a pickoff attempt in the top of the 5th. That's a strike, 1-1. And for Fowler too, it was almost a reality where he never makes it to Tuscaloosa. Out of Pearl River Community College, he committed to Campbell to play in Georgia, but when Justin Hare accepted the Ohio State job after Bill Mosiello left Columbus, he reopened his recruitment, and then Rob Vaughn snagged him in the portal, landed in Tuscaloosa, was the everyday right fielder last year, and with Richie Bonamalo no longer with the program, he has shifted over to the center.
And he's played a really good center field, and he has been very good in right field. And Casey, last year, I know you were here for the Tennessee series, able to steal a home run from the right field Ragers on a hard hit ball, but he can make some really good plays defensively.
Pounds it on the ground, the second. First chance Florida has to turn 2 today. Fowler showcasing that speed to leg out a fielder's choice. Curlin and Meyer combining on the 4 to the 6 up the middle.
And the high bounder, just enough for Bryce Fowler to break up a double play. And I think that's the other thing to watch here, Casey. We talked about Alabama likes to steal the bases. We get Brennan Holt, Bryce Fowler, Justin LeBron, but Bowen, the catcher for Florida, last night threw 2 of them out.
Alabama had been caught stealing twice in their previous 23 games. And Bowen threw out the first 2 would-be Alabama base stealers in the opener. Speaking of guys who can steal bases, Justin LeBron is at the plate, the conference leader in swipe bags. He showcased all 5 of his tools throughout the course of his collegiate career. And just on the topic, too, of flip commitments, we had talked a moment ago about Bryce Fowler, initially committed to Campbell, came to Tuscaloosa. Outside of LeBron. He was recruited to Rice, did not have the most ample recruitments in Florida. I mean, he was overshadowed among the sophomore, or at least the shortstop class in Florida, when you got guys like Aiden Miller and George Lombard Jr. in front of you. That's down, throw to first. Fowler's caught between first and second. Throw down, the second is late. Fowler eludes the tag, and Bama's got a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, awkward play right here. Bowen finds a way to pick that ball up, and Fowler in no man's land, but athletic enough. Bowen goes to first base on the throw. Fowler just going right into second base and able to get under the tag to get into scoring position.
Big wave and a miss, counts 3-1. LeBron flipped his commitment from Rice to Alabama after attending a wood bat tournament in Florida, and ever since he's been in Tuscaloosa, he's been phenomenal. Counts full.
I think there's a lot to unpack there, and that was also coming off of when Rob Vaughn was initially announced as the Alabama head coach. So there was a lot of question marks there, and Rob Vaughn, that was his first trip down there to solidify, making sure Justin LeBron came to the capstone. And again, I think you have to look at the loyalty factor.
He flies a breaking ball towards left, the wind keeping it in the park. Sear is there, shy of the wall. Fowler tags from second, makes it in the third. Productive out for LeBron, moves Fowler 90 feet further. And he extends the baton toward Brady Neal, the owner of Alabama's lone pair of hits today.
And they've been the opposite field variety, using the entire field, Brady Neal, but typically right there for Justin LeBron, flying out to deep left field. That's typically not an ideal situation, going second to third, putting the risk with 2 outs. But I will also say that Aiden King has been spiking some of the fastballs, and so it's probably a good idea. Or Brady Neal getting another knock for the Tide. Make it 3, Casey.
He went opposite field the first 2. He tells everybody, I do also know how to pull the baseball.
And it just looked like it was a slider up in the zone, and Brady Neal's just seeing the baseball. Looks like a beach ball up there.
I mean, the rest of the SEC and the country's got to be putting their palms to the heavens like, what's this guy doing against Aiden King that we can't do? Jason Torres has seen 2 trips to the plate and has laid down a pair of sac bunts. With 2 outs, not likely to see him lay down a bunt without the runner in scoring position. Did you feel like there were guys in your career that you had really good success against in the SEC that maybe some of your rest of your teammates were just kind of going to you with and like, hey, DK, what are you seeing, man? I got to pick your brain here.
Casey, I can never say I was a middle of the lineup type of guy. I was always digging deep for somebody else telling me something.
Torres into the air. There's Myers at short. Alabama doubles its lead on an RBI single by Brady Neal. We're through 5. Bama leads by 2 in game 2 of this series. Operating into the sixth here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. Alabama leads Florida by 2 in game 2 of this weekend series. Aiden King and St. Adams in the rematch of last year's Saturday matchup in mid-May in Gainesville. So far it's been Adams getting the upper hand on the All-American from a year ago. 2 earned runs in 5 innings, both even in strikeouts. And a big bounce-back start as well, too, David Kindred, from what happened last weekend in Lexington against the Wildcats.
Yeah, got bounced around a little bit. This is a completely different team in Kentucky. They really live on small ball and going inning to inning, and they just kind of picked Zane Adams apart. He just did not have command of the fastball.
Colt Myers takes outside.
You can see it right there, March 14th. And today, completely different. K's, but you can see the numbers don't really tell the whole story, but Zane Adams today more effective outside of the second and third innings, not putting himself behind the 8 ball, letting the defense work. Still at only 82 pitches. This is kind of the part where, you know, can you get through this inning? Maybe one more, depending on how quick this inning was.
Colt Myers flashes it out towards center field. Fowler started back, racing in on a slide, and it drops out of his glove. Myers is in the second with a double. Came on as a pinch hitter in the third for Brennan Lawson. His second at bat today, gets himself in a scoring position to start the 6th.
Yeah, right off the break, Bryce Fowler just didn't get a good jump. Wind's blowing in and just looked like it went off the heel of the glove. Couldn't finish the diving catch and will be scored a double. And Florida threatening here in the 6th.
First time today, Carson Bowen bats with a runner on base. Led off the second with a home run. Led off the fourth with a flyout. One for 3 day for the Gators lineup with runners in scoring position. Had all of one opportunity yesterday against Tyler Fay in the Alabama Friday night win. For the first time all series, Alabama is really getting something loose in its bullpen with Austin Morris and Matthew Heiberger starting to get hot.
You talk about an entire SEC weekend. Tyler Fay setting the table, obviously went the entire game. Nobody from the bullpen for Alabama entered, and so that just keeps you completely fresh. Heiberger did warm up a little bit last night, but obviously didn't go in. But I wouldn't be surprised if this game, if Zane gets into more trouble, Heiberger could get the call.
That's a strike. And DK, I was just about to ask you, how much shorter do you think the leash is today, considering what you just mentioned, without having to use any relievers in a series open?
I think you have, and this isn't any offense to Zane, but you got a fresh bullpen. You can take it to the finish because of a start like Tyler Fay last night.
Bowen pounds it on the ground to short. LeBron looks Myers back, zips it across the diamond. First time today, Florida's checked in on the All-American shortstop. 1 down.
But let's make no mistake, Zane Adams is the most experienced starter, a 3-year starter for Alabama. He's the anchor. And he knows how to get out of these type of innings, and you just never know how the game is going to play out. If you're entering a game from the bullpen, you want to enter clean, but it doesn't typically work out like that.
Castrayer digs in. Runner in scoring position and 1 gone. He's struck out twice against Adams.
And I think this is where you lock in for Zane. This is the part you empty the tank. Your best fastball, let it loose.
Ball and a strike. Eleventh pitch of the 6th upcoming from Adams. Up the chute, left side. Torres in foul territory, fading toward the dugout. Runs in the room.
2 innings ago, that would have been enough for the catch, and the wind started to pick up, blowing directly out of right field to third base. Blew that one out of play, and Strayer gets another opportunity against Zane.
inside. David, as a former outfielder, how difficult was that compared to everything else with the game, adjusting to different wind patterns as the game goes on?
I mean, it's one thing at your own house, you kind of understand how it blows or how the wind or how it blows at certain parts, but when you go on the road, it makes it so much tougher because sometimes you can see it up on the flags, but depending on the field, there's certain air patterns that come in much harder, and typically when it blows in from right field, even though the flag may not be blown as hard, it's a stiff breeze.
Here's the payoff. Stays alive, count remains 3-2.
Strayer 2 Ks leading up to this point, and he's battling in there. The freshman off-speed pitch, emergency swing to foul it off. Can he finish off this at bat and put more pressure on Alabama's defense?
'95th pitch of the evening is a strikeout. 5 for Adams through 5 2/3.
And Zane Adams gearing up on the fastball, inner half, just handcuffs Strayer for a big second out. Makes it 5 today. Can he work himself out of this inning at 95 pitches? It looks like associate head coach and pitching coach for Alabama, Jason Jackson, making the trip to the mound.
This is the second meeting out there. There was a very brief meeting in that third inning when Adams was pitching with 2 on and nobody out. Is this a scout meeting right now? Is this a meeting to buy more time for the pen? What do you chalk this up as?
I really think this is Coach Jason Jackson looking Zane Adams dead in the eyes and going, hey, this is where you typically 95 to 105 is kind of that sweet spot of what's left in the tank for Zane. And he's asking him, hey, can you finish this thing out? Or maybe he's trying to diagnose that and say, hey, we want to go with the guy in the bullpen to finish this inning off. I think that's I think Coach Jason Jackson at this point, for a guy that's experienced like this, is going to give Zane Adams some leeway with 2 outs on the cusp of finishing an inning. And it looks like he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt to say, hey, this is, in my opinion, you got this batter.
And it's Ethan Surwick being tasked with keeping this inning alive for Florida. Had a hit his last time up in the 4th, flew out in the 2nd. One of the premier bats in the summer collegiate circuit last summer in the Northwoods League. Hit 20 home runs. Northwoods League MVP. A ball out of the yard ties the game. Ball 1 outside. He has hit 3 home runs in his first year with the Gators this season.
You can see the fastball 90-91. You literally cannot miss center cut at this point.
A ball on the strike. Florida is 1 for 6 this series with runners in scoring position. Sprayed foul the other way. Adams is a strike away from getting through 6 with the lead still intact.
Probably Zane Adams' best fastball this inning. Low and away. Got Surwick to foul it off. Can he finish off this inning?
That's down. The Tide took game 1 of the series, looking for a series win in game 2. Just fouled back toward the screen.
Look out, off-speed pitch up in the zone. Probably not where he, a little too much of the plate, 2-2, but off speed. Do you back it up with another one or go fastball here?
He goes heat. That's nub foul toward the floor of the dugout. 132 pitches yesterday for Tyler Fay. Alabama no-hitter, first in 84 years to take the opener. The Crimson Tide are looking for a series win against the Gators in what would be their first series victory against Florida since 2008. Mimes a throw over the second. Pair of clubs that got off to two separate starts to SEC play. Florida dispatched South Carolina last week. Alabama went to Lexington and got rocked against the Wildcats. Two again. Foul tipped into the glove, strike three. 6 strikeouts completes the 6th inning of work for Adams. Bama's lead stays intact.
A big-time strikeout to close out the inning. 93-mile-an-hour heat for Zane Adams to keep the score where it is, 4-2.
Playing it to the last of the 6th here at Sewell Thomas Stadium with a little bit of a game summary if you're just now joining us. It may very well be a game of relievers the rest of the way. Aiden King of Florida, 5 innings, allows a season-high 4 runs. Had not allowed an earned run entering today. Carson Bowen, a solo home run, snapped an 0 for 30 streak for Florida at the plate in this series. Alabama got a pair of sacrifice bunts from their cleanup hitter Jason Torres. All 3 Bama hits have belonged to Brady Neal. He has driven in 2 runs at the dish. Speaking of relievers, when he talked to Florida head coach Kevin O'Sullivan, he has raved about the weapons that he can unleash from his bullpen. Jackson Barberry is one of his top guys that he has gone to in close games. He goes to him with his Gators down 2 in the 6th.
Yeah, making his 10th appearance. This is a guy that started last year and worked out of the pen. Coach O'Sullivan said he's best suited for our taking it 2 to 3 innings to the close, but the best bullpen arm available for Florida. You can see why. 23-7 K to walk ratios, only allowed 8 hits, and he's going to light up that gun with some 97, 98 mile an hour cheese.
He starts things off with a breaking ball for a called strike to John Lem, who's 0 for 2 today in game 2. There's 99 down. Coach O'Sullivan definitely giving him some high praise. Compared Barberry to Arkansas's Cole Gibbler in terms of not only the velocity, but being able to consistently throw velocity for multiple innings. Saw that last year with Dave Van Horn's Razorbacks through the regionals in the College World Series. 2-1, seared on the right side of the diamond. Cade Curlin is there. Leadoff man sat down to begin the 6th. Looking at the numbers for Barberry, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah,
no runs.
Yeah, basically 2 to 1 K per inning. So he's, again, 2 Ks per inning. His last 3 appearances really good. When you got a 99-mile-an-hour fastball and a tight breaking slider, that's really the mix. It's fastball, slider, and hit it if you can.
Will Plattner attempts to tee off and comes up empty on 99.
We talked about this last night, Casey, for Liam Peterson with the dynamite stuff and running up the radar gun with a fastball for Alabama. And anybody facing him, you can't try to match it and trying to gear up for a fastball. It's keeping your same swing in the middle of the field.
Keeping your same swing, is that just holding the hands back? Is that lower half? What's the most important aspect of keeping that same motion?
It's a good question. I think it's more of keeping your hands. To me, it's more you see the velocity. You want to, what I think of muscling up, you're gripping the bat because you're trying to match the velocity when you don't have to do that at all. You just need to keep your same smooth, fluid swing.
The ball and 2 strikes to Plattner. Jackson Barberi, a former top 100 draft prospect coming out of high school. 99th ranked prospect in the 2024 draft. 13th ranked right-hander nationally out of Brookwood High School in Georgia. Two. Stung on the ground, the third plate in failed territory. Miller bounces across the diamond. There's Surowick on the scoop. Shortstop by trade. Sam Miller playing third today. 2 down.
And Miller taking that ball deep in the hole at third. Low throw, but you get the out. That made that play look a lot easier what it is. But for Coach O'Sullivan putting Barberi in the game, still down 2, just putting your chips on the table. Again, typically Barberi's going in when the game is tied or with the lead. He's saying that I feel confident enough in my offense to get us back into this game.
What's this meeting right now between Rob Vaughn and Justin Osterhaus about?
I think it's really more about, hey, I'm trying to slow down Barberi getting into a flow of the game and maybe kind of pausing this game, maybe just telling Osterhaus, just, you know, relaxing the shoulders. Hey, you got this. Do you remember that good at bat that you had last night where you hit it off Peterson? This is the same type of a bat for you today. But I also think this is more of a slow down Barberi off to a good start.
Osterhaus got off to a red-hot start to begin this series. Had 2 hits off of Liam Peterson yesterday. 0 for 2 today against Aiden King. He's got a chance against the new arm for the first time in this Saturday afternoon matinee. Did he go around in the breaking ball? He did, according to Clint Fagan, the home plate umpire. First-year Alabama product by way of Purdue-Fort Wayne, Justin Osterhaus. Passed up a Division II football opportunity to play D1 mid-major baseball at PFW. Flies it out of play the other way, 1-2.
You can tell Osterhaus is looking at himself. That was the fastball that he wanted to put a charge in. One just came up empty and fouled it off. You got to find a way to battle. You got to look for that slider down.
There it is. He lays off. Two coming again.
Barberi's been pretty effective this inning. Left a slider up right there. If it wasn't 2 strikes, that could have been damage for Osterhaus, but he's trying to protect right now.
Inside, left 98 in. Counts full.
Both sides not really happy with his plate appearance. Osterhaus on the check swing, he wanted the third base umpire to check him, didn't get it, and Barberi wanted that inside for strike 3.
That's a walk. Osterhaus is aboard with 2 outs in the 6th. And despite the up and downs all year for Osterhaus, got off to an 0 for 20 spell to begin the year. Rob Vaughn talked about his ability to get on base, to steal bases, and to show off that dynamic ability to manufacture runs. And he's got a chance to do that with 2 outs.
Yeah, an older hitter. You understand sometimes the hits aren't always going to come, but most likely the compass, as long as you put together good at-bats and discipline, it'll eventually turn around.
There goes Osterhaus. Ball 1 high to Vaughn. Throw to second. It's late by a couple seconds. Osterhaus has his 6th stolen bag of the year.
Okay, let's break this one down. I love the aggressiveness. Casey, you just hit on it right there. Osterhaus finding a way to be athletic, get into scoring position. If you're Luke Vaughn right here, you sell out on 1 pitch right here. Whatever you believe it's going to be.
He takes a breaking ball for a called strike 1.
This is not a, don't get it wrong. I'm not saying guess here, but I mean, work aggressive and you get your pitch in the zone, you don't miss it. You don't care if the other pitch is right down the cut. Easier said than done being up here with you, Casey, but you know, sometimes with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball and a slider, you have to go put your chips on the table for 1 pitch.
What was tougher for you facing a guy with velocity, the velo itself or the thought of maybe seeing that breaking ball off the velocity?
It's definitely the velocity, because it's just the width of, you know, the miles per hour, but you know, that's what I was always trying to hit the fastball early.
Alabama's 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position this afternoon. Vaughn pounds it on the ground to short. Few room service hops for Colt Myers. Came on as a pinch hitter, his 4th inning as a defensive substitution. We're through 6 here in Tuscaloosa. Bama leads by 2 in game 2 of this series. Second start for Zame Adams in his career against Florida. This one went a lot longer than last year in Gainesville. Gave the Tide some length. 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 5 hits, but when he needed to, he racked up the strikeouts, and he got an all-important strikeout of Ethan Surwick, who served as the possible tying run at the plate in the top of the 6th. Strikeout number 6 for Adams as Alabama's 2-run lead remains intact as we play into the latter third of this mid-game of this 3-game series here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. Well, if you like ground balls, Matthew Heiberger gets Alabama a lot of them against a very heavy right-handed lineup. How is he going to induce that soft contact?
Yeah, this is probably, I was telling you, Casey, probably the best arm out of the bullpen. This was a guy in Matthew Heiberger that was battling for that Sunday starter role, but Alabama decided to put him in the bullpen, and he's the X factor for Alabama. Making his 8th appearance, 3.86 ERA. The K's will start to come along, but again, it's a good 3/4 slot sinker ball, fastball, 92, 93 with the slider, sweeping slider, and a very good changeup against the righties.
First pitch strike lands to Cole Stanford. Gators DH today 0 for 2 with a couple ground outs. Oh and 2.
There you go. You saw that slider. A lot of bite. And good entrance. Filling the zone with strikes.
Heiberger wasn't prone to the onslaught that Kentucky gave the Alabama pitching staff last week. Typically really solid in relief, 2 appearances. Gave up 3 runs and 2 in the third. Cape Cod Baseball League All-Star this past summer with the Harwich Mariners. Teammates with a few of these Florida Gators relievers. Stanford puts a charge in the one out to center field. Fowler battling the sun is there, 1 away in the 7th. Glance at the numbers for Heiberger between last year and this year. ERA lower so far through 11 2/3 in 2026. Batting average also lower by 53 points.
Yeah, and you can see he's going to be thrust into bigger situations like this. And I look at the opposing batting average going from 273 to 220. That's a big reduction in a good way for Matthew Heiberger. And I think for him, he's got the strikeout stuff, Casey. But can you work that fastball down in the zone and can let your defense work with some ground balls?
He starts Cade Kurland off with a breaking ball for a strike. Ball 1 high. The former All-American Kurland singled in the third, gave Florida its lone lead of this series. Got thrust back into action yesterday for the first time since February 25th. Was part of that Gators lineup that got no hit by Tyler Fay if you're joining this series for the first time. Flies it toward left center field with the wind holding that ball in the yard. Justin Osterhaus is there. Speaking of that no-hitter, caught the final out of the no-no yesterday. 2 down to the 7th.
Talked about the athleticism for Osterhaus in left field. He's a converted third baseman, first baseman. And Jason Torres, there was a lot of playing around with the corner infield for Osterhaus, and they wanted to get his bat in the lineup. And you know, that's kind of how this works in college baseball. You're an infielder. If you got a good enough bat, then you move you to the outfield. And he's still figuring that out there. That's just to be honest. And I think he's get more experience out there, and it's just like Brady Neal being out in right field. You're athletic enough to play those positions.
Sam Miller pounds it up the middle. Justin LeBron is up to the task. He's had 2 ground balls hit his way today. He's made the play on both. Time to stretch at Sewell Thomas Stadium, tied up 2. Playing into the last of the 7th here at Sewell Thomas Stadium. The runners in scoring position has been a big delineating factor between success for both teams. Alabama yesterday hit 400. Today, a 300 clip. Florida between yesterday and today, 1 for 9. They trail by 2 with just over 2 innings to play in the second game of this 3-game series as we take a look at what's on the line for both teams. Alabama hasn't won a series against the Gators since 2008, since the formative days of Kevin O'Sullivan's reign began in Gainesville. Check swing strike to Brennan Holt to begin the 7th against Jackson Barberry. Second inning of relief for him. Pair of walks for Holt against the Florida starter Aiden King.
And Barberry, since entering this game, has made quick work of the Tide, and I wouldn't be surprised if they ride this arm. We talked about he's got starter experience last year. Wouldn't be surprised if he takes this way to the finish line.
96 misses inside. 1-2 to the grad student second baseman. Pounded on the ground right side. Surwick plays the high hop. The first baseman is there. 1 down to begin the 7th. Numbers for Barberry definitely more formidable this year. Showcased the potential last year in the 32 and the third innings, but this year utilizing those tools and making sure those also translate to results.
Those tools are very sharp. Let's just say that, Casey. 16 and 2/3 innings, and look at that batting average. You are keeping that offense at bay, but this is just life in the SEC for all those that's been watching it for a very long time. 2-run score late in the 7th. You're going to see the best arms and the best players on display.
Bryce Fowler has been kept off the hit boards, but he's been on base twice. Walk and then a fielder's choice in back-to-back ABs. One is clubbed out toward right center field. That plugs the gap and rolls toward the top of the track. Fowler is in the second base with a stand-up double with 1 gone in the 7th.
That's just being on time for the fastball. Didn't get all of it right there, but hit in the right place in the gap, and Alabama's got something going in the bottom half of the 7th.
Alabama's had opportunities going for Justin LeBron in terms of driving in runs this series. He's still looking for his first hit on the weekend. Was 0 for yesterday. He drew a walk today, but strikeout and a flyout in preceding appearances. Breaking ball misses down.
And it's been base to base for Alabama, primarily offensively. That being Bryce Fowler's double being the first extra base hit today.
Also, first hit owned by someone not named Brady Neal, who's in the on-deck circle. Two ball, no strikeout to the 2-time All-American Justin LeBron. And that's been a big pitch too, David, that you and I have talked about this entire weekend. That breaking ball that Florida's been able to throw to him has yielded a lot of swing and misses.
Yeah, and I think he's been, I wouldn't say he's pressing, but you know he wants to get off the schneid for this weekend. Held hitless against the Gators. It's been a steady dose of off speed, and I think sometimes you get frustrated. You're like, at this point right here, 3-1 count with a base open. I think you got to slow down and understand that, hey, they're probably not going to throw you a cookie fastball right down the middle, but we'll see.
He gets one down the chute at 98. Not quite the cookie with frosting on it, but.
Oh, man, that was just dotted up on the outer half and away. You just got to spit on that one, but competitive fastball right there.
LeBron flies it deep toward left field. Sierra's back. How far is that going to fly? Justin LeBron says hello. Alabama doubles its lead.
And you knew it was just a matter of time. He was sitting on that slider and knew it right when he hit it. Big two-run shot for Justin LeBron. That ball was deleted.
Off the top of the scoreboard, his team leading 10th home run of the season. He hit a home run in the series last year in Gainesville. He's got a home run today. Brady Neal went swinging for the fences a moment ago. Strike one to the Alabama right fielder. When you talk to Rob Vaughn as well, a guy that he's noticed playing more free recently in Neal. Just talking about his upbringing coming out of high school, second-ranked catcher in the country out of IMG Academy, committed to LSU. Things didn't go out the way he thought in Baton Rouge. Entered the transfer portal, has been a part of Alabama these last couple years. And when you talk to Coach Vaughn, too, about the biggest things he has noticed with Neal, he says he's not the guy trying to prove something anymore. He's not trying to prove that he was good enough to pass up almost $2 million out of high school to play college ball. He's not trying to prove like he's that same top prospect that has to produce at the clip that he was expected to. Just playing his game and being able to do what the team is asking him to do. And right now, he's done everything Alabama's required of him. He's caught on days. He's been playing the outfield all series. And he's come up with big hits against some of the biggest arms in the conference. He takes a breaking ball that bends over the outside edge for a strike. First time he's been sat down today.
But up to this point, he's led the offense today. 3 hits. And all that stuff you said, it just says the maturation of Brady Neal. You talked about every level he's gone to, and you have that confidence, and sometimes you know in your head what you are, and maybe it's not translating on the field, but you can see it this year. It's loose and confident in the way he plays this game.
Jason Torres takes down at 95. Speaking of guys confident in the way they can play the game, I mean, everybody knows Jason Torres around the league is a guy who can drive in runs, hit home runs, but couple sacrifice RBI bunts today.
And that was not in the arsenal last year, and we talked about it. Alabama last in the bunt department in the SEC, and seeing it on display and giving themselves the opportunity to, they had to lead 4-2, but it was really put together to get the lead 2 runs, and then Justin LeBron can really throw a haymaker.
Torres hits a missile down the line and left, hooking way foul. His 2 sacrifice bunts, exit velos that you'd see in school zones. That foul ball is something you'd see at Daytona or at Talladega. 2-2. Off the end of the bat, flare to left center. That finds outfield grass. Torres keeps the inning afloat. Man on with 2 gone in the 7th inning.
Well, Casey, just to give you the cool radar gun of 98 miles an hour for that base hit right there. So maybe at the Germany Autobahn. But Alabama getting very offensive. We talked about it. That Bryce Fowler getting the first extra base hit. Justin LeBron with a home run, and now Jason Torres. And can Alabama lengthen their lead 6-2 against one of the best arms coming out of the pen for the Gators in Barberry?
Ball no strike count to John Lem. Make it 2-0. Florida had some action in its bullpen to start this inning. Ernesto Lugo Canchola had been throwing. Also got a right-hander getting hot in the right center field gap. Lem flies it the other way, foul. Sitting on the 48th pitch of the inning for Jackson Barberry in relief. Inning in 2/3 out of the pen. Following Aiden King, who allowed his first earned runs of the season this afternoon to this Crimson Tide lineup. Three and one.
You see the fastball just missing arm side high the last couple of pitches, and I think that was back to Justin LeBron's at bat. Sold out on that slider after he buried it down for a strike, and just sometimes you just have to sit on whatever they're feeling good, and it just looks like he's just missing up in the zone right now on all his pitches.
David, you alluded to that a moment ago. Arm side high fastball misses. What are you noticing that's leading him to miss the other way?
Sometimes your body is moving faster than your arm is, and so your arm's trying to catch up, and when it's coming out of your arm with the elbow trying to catch up, it comes out the arm and just flutters up and away. It looks like that's going to be all for Barberry today, as the Florida Gators going deeper into the pen.
Barberry was spectacular in his first inning in the books. He got tagged in this seventh with a 2-run home run. Billy Barlow enters with 2 on and 2 away in the last of the seventh here in Tuscaloosa. Jackson Barberry was phenomenal in his first inning in relief. Justin LeBron changed the complexion his last time up at the plate.
I mean, Alabama just got offensive this inning. It was the Bryce Fowler double, and then Justin LeBron just absolutely crushing a slider to make the score 6-2. And Alabama still threatening here in the seventh as the Gators go to the pen.
How is Billy Barlow going to keep this a 4-run game with 2 on and 2 outs?
I think if you took any notes from Barberry, it was just the fastball was very good, but he just could not command it. It was up in the zone. Billy making his 7th appearance, 1-0, 6.7 ERA. K to walk ratio, good. Giving up a couple of hits at this point, but I think you can't be afraid of contact and being too fine with your pitch. You got to live down in the zone with whatever you're bringing to the table, but it's a very good slider for Billy at 85 miles an hour, and then you're going to see some low fastball action, but you got to calm the storm right here and keep the game where it is at a 4-run deficit.
The former Clemson Tiger Billy Barlow in his second year with the Gators has inherited a precarious spot, 2 on and 2 outs, with Will Plattner stepping to the plate. The Alabama captain's hitless today, but he's put the ball in play all 3 at bats. Number 3 at the dish. 0-1. There's that slider you talked about.
Run that one up at 88 miles an hour.
You know, David, just talking about that breaking ball, I know we just saw Barberry, and In this era of power pitchers, like 99 plus fastball, breaking ball in the low 90s, do you feel like it was a lot tougher for you hitting against guys who had that 10 plus mile an hour difference, fastball, breaking ball, or just did you feel like you had more trouble hitting velo altogether?
It's changed a bit in almost 15, 20 years now. Were there guys that threw 95, 97? Yeah, but there were only like 1 or 2 guys on the SEC club. Now you see like maybe 7 or 8 guys who are doing that coming out of the pen. So to answer your question, you just get used. I think at this time, I think the velocity has taken over on the pitching standpoint. But I think the hardest thing, the thing that separates the velocity is, can you command it? We just saw it right there for Barberry. He's got electric stuff, but was not commanded. And I think it doesn't matter if you're throwing 89 to 91. If you dot it up, it's going to be hard to hit.
2-2, fanned and missed, strike 3, retires the side. But Alabama gets a pair of runs off the strength of a pair of extra base hits.
Yeah, we talked about it. Alabama getting offensive. The first extra base hit by Bryce Fowler. And then the hanging slider for Justin LeBron. You knew it was just a matter of time before he got in the hit parade to make the score 6-2 Alabama.
Last 2 innings to play in regulation in game 2 of this 3-game series between Bama and 18th ranked Florida. Big 2-run home run from Justin LeBron, really changing the complexion of that 7th inning. Speaking of second frame of work for Matthew Heiberger, and he's got the top of the Florida order to contend with, starting with Kyle Jones. Hitless today, he's been on base twice. Walk and an error. And the count 2-0. Ahead, 3 balls, no strikes.
Alabama getting offensive last inning, moving the score from 2-run deficit to 4. It just changes the dynamic of what you can do aggressively. And with Kyle Jones being the biggest threat, if he can get on base, you really can't press it too hard to steal a bag down 4. So it changes the complexion of what you can and can't do. It'll be interesting to see how Coach O'Sullivan plays this out.
He's on board. 4th time today the Gators have put the leadoff man aboard. Unable to do that yesterday against Tyler Fay in the opener. Blake Sear digs in with a man on to lead off the 8th. That's 5 straight balls from Heiberger to start the 8th. That prompts John Lem to come out and have a couple words with the lefty.
Mature move right there by Lim. Slow it down for Heiberger entering his 2nd inning of work.
Big at bat for the Gators. Last time Florida put up a run on the board is the only time they have had the lead all weekend. Blake Sear in that top of the third RBI single that scored Cade Kurland. They were no hit yesterday. They erupted early against Zane Adams, but since that third inning, Alabama has outscored Florida 5-0. There's a strike.
We've already closed the book on Zane Adams, and I think you would tell you if at the end of this game, no matter how it plays out, he probably didn't have his best stuff, but he gutted through that, kept Alabama in this game with a lead and exited cleanly. And that's the thing about makes pitchers really good, especially the starting pitchers. You're not always going to have, you can't have a Tyler Fay night every single night, but you got to gut it out. The stuff wasn't as good as he wanted, but he found a way to keep only giving up 2 runs against this Gator offense.
And it's a hit by pitch. Sear is aboard. And all of a sudden, the Gators have a pulse. If they're able to get another man on base, the tying run would step to the plate. Rob Vaughn is out to have a couple words with home plate umpire Clint Fagan, possibly conveying his case that he maybe leaned into it on that last hit by pitch. Quick convo, and looks like the umpires are about to converge and convene for the first time this series.
Ruling on the field is a hit by pitch. Alabama has challenged that. Play is under further review.
First challenge of the day for either team. Florida was 0 for 1 yesterday in challenges. Bama was 1 for 1.
See it right here, the pitch absolutely hits him. What Coach Rob Vaughn is saying that, hey, he went into the ball. Now you can hold your ground. You're allowed to hold your ground, and that would be a hit by pitch, but let's see how they interpret it.
After review, there is no intent to get hit by the pitch. Batter is awarded first base. Alabama uses 1 challenge, has 1 remaining.
So it stays the call on the field, and all of a sudden the Gators are a batter away from possibly sending the tying run to the plate. And what a big spot this is for Colt Myers. Came on into the game as a pinch hitter in the third for presumptive #1 overall pick in the 2027 MLB draft, Brendan Lawson, who exited the game after 1 at-bat and 2 innings in the field. Have a guy in Lawson who led the SEC in on-base percentage, top 5 in the conference in RBI, batting average, slugging percentage. Big spot for Myers, who doubled in the 6th. Down to the count 0-2.
And we talked about it, the ability to play small ball for the Florida Gators, and with the score 6-2, a sacrifice bunt would help them. But you almost have to play for a big inning this late in the game with a 4-run deficit. So obviously Colt Myers swinging away, down 0-2 right now. Can he find a way to get the bat on the ball?
High and tight. Ball and 2 strikes.
I love that pitch, 0-2. Freeze the batter with some fastball, 92, 93 miles an hour. What do you come back with?
Comes back with a breaking ball that Myers fans on. First strikeout of the inning for Heiberger, his first of the game. Big out the 8th. But the task isn't that much easier. He's got the home run hitter today for Florida, and Carson Bowen, who snapped an 0 for 30 streak for the Gators lineup to start this series, his 2nd home run of the year. 1 swing here potentially makes this a 1-run game.
You got to be very careful.
He stings it right to short. LeBron there. Throw back to second. Glances off a Holtz glove. Potentially an inning-ending double play. Instead, a hard second out, and the inning continues.
Bowen just absolutely stung that, unfortunately, right at Justin LeBron. The runner was dead to rights, but Holt couldn't hang on to the catch.
Kevin O'Sullivan has gone to his bench and is electing the pinch hit, Cash Strayer, for Caden McDonald. A two-way prospect out of Tampa. He was used in relief yesterday. Grabs a bat and hits today in a prime spot with arguably this whole series on the line. In limited at-bats this year, he's hitting .333 with 1 RBI. 2 for 6 at the plate. He's down 2 strikes. Two on, 2 away in the top of the 8th in game 2 of this 3-game series. One and 2. Alabama won the opener yesterday. They're 4 outs away from clinching their first series victory against the Gators in 18 years. 2-2, Spills behind Lem, not far enough to advance either base runner.
I say that ball ricocheted off the home plate umpire right there. Alabama got a break.
The Gators are 1 for 9 this series with runners in scoring position.
Does Heiberger go back to that changeup? He's gone fastball in, getting to this count to set up possible off-speed away. That's how he got Myers.
Home plate umpire Clint Fagan going out there to make sure that there's no deliberate slowing of play. Two. Down the chute, turn him into a statue. Heiberger leaves 2 on, and Bama's 4-run lead remains intact midway through 8.
Gators were hunting offensively, trying to put something together, but Heiberger with a big-time slider to close the door to keep the score where it is. 6-2 Alabama.
Playing it to the last of the 8th, Alabama's looking for some run support before they take the field in the top of the 9th. 3 defensive outs away from securing their first series victory against the Florida Gators since 2008. Gotten off to an excellent start to begin the weekend. Yesterday it was Tyler Fay's no-hitter. Today it's the offense coming through in big spots. Speaking of big spots, Caden McDonald struck out as a pinch hitter. Ashton Wilson enters the game as a defensive substitution in right. Second change in the starting lineup for Kevin O'Sullivan's Gators this afternoon. Bottom third of the Alabama order against Billy Barlow, starting off with Justin Osterhaus, who takes in the dirt. With the former Alabama outfielder David Kindred. Casey Roll with you from the capstone. Second week of SEC play. Breaking ball called, the strike to Osterhaus. The entirety of his collegiate career has been about shuffling the deck and taking the cards you've been dealt. Recruited by Purdue Fort Wayne to play shortstop initially, was moved all around the diamond his freshman year. First base, center field. At one point even played in right field for the Mastodons. That scuffled foul back behind third base. He's new to the SEC this year, but he's not new to SEC teams. His first year playing at PFW, hit 3 home runs in a series against Mizzou. Series that PFW was able to sweep, not sweep, but steal as he strikes out there. Leadoff batter sat down for the Tide. Luke Vaughn steps in, hitting in that 8th spot for the Tide today.
It's been a very quiet day for Alabama offensively. 5 through 9 held hitless. It's really been the top of the order today that's really carried the load.
Between Fowler, LeBron, and Neal, 5 for 10 at the plate. Rest of the lineup 1 for 16. Really impressed with myself with the quick math there. I'm surprised I got that. Breaking ball stung out toward left field. Down the line, hooking to the corner. It's off the base of the wall. Vaughn around first base, in the second with a stand-up double with 1 gone in the 8th.
And once again, for the Gators bullpen, it just looked like a hanging slider that just really didn't have much bite to it up in the zone. Luke Vaughn clobbers it off of the left field wall. And once again, the Tide is threatening.
Another visit out toward the mound with a lefty and Brennan Holt scheduled to step to the plate. Does Florida elect to go to a left-hander out of the pen? They do have a southpaw warming up. Holt and Bryce Fowler are the scheduled hitters, both hit lefty. Eli Blair, who pitched yesterday, is getting loose.
We just said how the lower half of this lineup had been quiet for Luke Vaughn. With that hit, has made him 20 games, his streak, 20 games on base streak alive.
Well, speaking of being alive, the day is completely over for Billy Barlow. Pitching change here in Tuscaloosa with the Tide up 4.
welcome back to a beautiful Saturday in the SEC. And if you've tuned in, it's been a really good game for Alabama, but not quite done for the Gators. You can see Alabama leading 6-2 thus far, and it had their sustained offense throughout this entire game. And the Gators going with the freshman left-handed arm, Eli Blair.
And if you're just also tuning in, I'm Casey Roll. I'm not the analyst. David is the analyst, but you could have fooled me, man. You sure you don't want to take this 8th inning with a show off your play-by-play chops?
Well, every blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, Casey. You're doing a phenomenal job today.
Well, speaking of blind, you could be a blind squirrel and still notice Eli Blair. 6'8", 225 pounds. Second appearance of this series. Threw an inning and a third last night. Starts Brennan Holt off of the breaking ball this afternoon for a called strike. He's got a frame that would make the Florida basketball team and Todd Golden a little envious. 6'8", 225. Big win for Florida Hoops yesterday, by the way. 114-55 over Prairie View A&M. Did you see that quote, by the way? That quote from Byron Smith about what was needed for Prairie View to get back into the game at halftime? He was like, I think we need some help from the man upstairs. I mean, he wasn't wrong. Breaking ball grounded hard past the diving Surwick at first. Alabama's run support continues. Vaughn scores, Holt in the second. The Tide is rolling out to a 5-run lead in the 8th.
And just as we came back from break, looking at each and every inning for Alabama, they've had the foot on the throat of the Florida Gators and plating another run, making it a 5-run clip. Time is running out for the Gators. Can Alabama finish off this Saturday in Tuscaloosa?
Alabama has outscored Florida this series 13-2. Bryce Fowler at the plate with an RBI chance. Ball one high. Six of the 9 Alabama hitters have a hit today. Double for Fowler his last time up in the 7th. 2-0. Top hitters for Alabama 1 through 4, highly touted out of high school and in the portal. They've flexed their muscles today, producing 5 of the 7 runs on 6 of the 8 Bama hits. 3 balls and no strikes.
Casey, I think Vaughn and Holt heard us up here. They were saying, hey, don't forget about us. We want to get in on the party too. And have pieced together another inning where Alabama scores. Scored in 5 innings. We talked about how this changes the scenario. It was the Justin LeBron haymaker home run that put the score up from 2-4. Alabama can play a little more free and aggressive, and it also limits the Florida Gators and what type of arms that they can bring in. Plus, the prior inning, Florida had their opportunity with first and second, had a great sacrifice bunt opportunity, really couldn't do that. And Bowen hit a line drive shot that really just squashed the offensive carry for the Florida Gators.
Here's LeBron. Got out of a hitless spell to start the series with a home run in the 7th. Ball one inside. Two SEC series under his belt in his junior year. 2 home runs. Runners go. That's outside. Double steal works to perfection for the 2nd time today.
Just a great break by Brennan Holt. And Justin LeBron, I don't know if he saw it out of the corner of his eye. I don't know if he was going to swing that or not, but mature just to let that one go, to let everybody move up a base.
2-1. Alabama's exactly a carbon copy from yesterday in this spot. Runners in scoring position. 4 for 10 yesterday. 4 for 10 today. Trampoline wide a third.
And so for Blair, if he was paying attention, Justin LeBron got that slider up in the zone. Do you try to land a slider again, or you go fastball away?
He goes inside and hits him. That'll leave a mark. Bases are loaded for arguably the hottest hitter in the SEC in Brady Neal. 3 for 4 day.
And that's the bookend that Alabama's been looking for. Justin LeBron, somebody that's going to bat behind him, had a very strong game today, 3 for 4. Which pill do you want? You put Justin LeBron on. Brady Neal, 3 for 4 today. Can he deliver a knockout blow?
And the count 2-0. Alabama has drawn 7 walks. Two and 1.
And early in this game for Alabama, it was a lot of manufacturing, working the walks, getting the extra bag, and then later, 6th inning on, Alabama's really gone extra base variety.
Without Neal swinging the stick today, as he get the green light 3-1.
No doubt. You're sitting dead red right here. You're not going to let a fastball beat you. If it's an off-speed pitch right down the middle, you spit on it.
He bounces on a breaking ball. Backhanded by Surowick. Race to the bag. Blair is there. Productive out. RBI ground outs. Brings in Alabama's 8th run of the day, and the Crimson Tide's lead swells to 6.
And again, just a small piece of baseball. Again, this was Alabama 2 weeks ago. That was getting a strikeout, but finding a way to put the bat on the ball, plating another run. You just never know. It's a 6-run score. We've seen crazier things in the SEC, Casey. You keep pressing. You don't ever let off the gas.
Jason Torres takes a breaking ball for a strike. Couple RBI for the Bama cleanup hitter today on sacrifice bunts. Hit that rocket shot to left center field in the 7th inning. First hit of the series. Off his front foot foul, counts in favor of Blair, a ball and 2 strikes. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th for Florida. They've got the 6, 7, 8 batters due against the Alabama bullpen. They're down 6 runs and down to their final 3 outs from potentially losing this series. Something they've only done once since Kevin O'Sullivan took over in Gainesville 19 years ago. Torres lines it the other way, right field. Diving attempt from Wilson. He makes the grab. Ashton Wilson coming on as a defensive sub in this 8th inning makes the grab.
And Alabama continues to extend this lead via the bottom half of the lineup to plate 2 more to make the score 8-2 Alabama.
Playing along into the top of the 9th inning. Alabama up 6 on Florida. They're also 3 outs away from their first series sweep of the Florida Gators in 18 years. 2008 was the last time Bama took 2 of 3 against Florida. Strike 1 to Ethan Surowick, matching up against Matthew Heiberger in his 3rd inning of relief. 0-2 to the Florida first baseman.
Alabama to this point only one bullpen arm, and you're looking at him right here, Matthew Heiberger. Saturday late in this game, see how an entire weekend comes all together by a dominant start by Tyler Fay, going the distance in a no-hitter and setting your bullpen up for the entire weekend.
Count stays 2-2. Surowick other way, right field. That's into the outfield grass. Leadoff single for the Florida first baseman. 2nd hit of his day. Well, barring a massive comeback, it looks like Alabama will take this series. They have an opportunity to go for their first series sweep of Florida since 2002. First pitch is at noon Central Time, 1 Eastern tomorrow on the SEC Network. Dave Neal is on the call with a former Alabama arm, Lance Cormier, who was on that team in 2002 that last swept Florida. Former big leaguer Lance Cormier. Noon Central, 1 Eastern on the linear networks. That's high to Cole Stanford. All 3 inside. That's something we have noticed too with Heiberger in his couple prior innings of relief. He's missed a little bit in tight to righties with fastballs.
He has, and it's he's found a way to dial it back. And the off speed, the changeup has really bailed him out. We talked about the fastballs, probably 92, 93, not overly too fast, but the changeup away is just where he wants it. It makes that fastball so much better, where you have to cheat and expect it, and then that fastball just locks you up on the inner half. And we talked about his ineffectiveness, and right here he's already back at 3-2.
Time was called at the plate before that throw over the first.
So for all those listening and watching today, tune in tomorrow. Maybe Lance Cormier will break it down on some prior history, what happened in 2002.
Time's called. John Lem going out there to chat with Heiberger. Hagan Banks has been warming up for the Crimson Tide out in left center field. And David, I think you and I also made a couple interesting points of conversation in between innings. I mean, this is the 2nd game of the series, and Alabama's only used 1 reliever to this point. A lot of options for Rob Vaughn and Alabama tomorrow in the finale.
And think about this, Casey. We heard it from Coach O'Sullivan. His most electric arm, he brought him in when Florida had the game close, 4-2. Barberry, one of his best arms, so he had to burn him at that point. So you've got a taxed Florida bullpen and a very fresh Alabama on the other side.
Stanford, it's a moon scraper foul to left. Florida's drawn 2 walks. They've got 8 strikeouts today. And on the hands, fisted foul left side. Torres is on the run, as is LeBron. Torres reaches out, and he's able to haul it in. 1 gone in the 9th.
That is a really tough play. You're having to contend with the wall. The ball's somewhat coming back, but the wind's playing into it. Jason Torres hangs with it. I thought he was going to give way to Justin LeBron, but a big first out for Alabama.
Cade Curlin steps in with one on and one gone. First hit of his weekend came all the way back in the third. First hit this month after coming back from an oblique injury, that grade 1 oblique injury he suffered in late February. Same injury that Boston Red Sox star Roman Anthony suffered at the tail end of last season. 2-1.
You got to be so delicate with it. That's the side to the right of your core, and especially for a hitter, especially when you start to feel good, you want that 100%. You can't play nagging with an oblique.
Ground ball the third, glances off of Torres' glove into the outfield. The sure-handed Crimson Tide committed one error yesterday. They've got 2 today.
Not the room service hop. Kind of got caught in between for Jason Torres. One that you know he wanted to come up with. Gators hanging around here in the 9th.
33 errors for Alabama, tied for most in the conference with South Carolina. That has been one thing that Rob Vaughn has wanted to clean up as conference play really progresses. Speaking of Coach Vaughn, he's got his lineup card out with Jason Jackson also on the mound. Hagan Banks had been warming up in that left center field bullpen. And it looks like Heiberger is remaining in the game to this point. Second week of the SEC slate. Lots of news already in the conference. 12 straight wins for Auburn. The Crimson Tide are on the cusp of taking their first series against Florida in 18 years. Talked about South Carolina. Where do they go post Paul Maneri in Columbia? Sam Miller takes high and wide for ball 1.
It's just amazing how the script can flip so fast, Casey. You just talked about South Carolina. Florida swept them last week. Alabama last week went on the road and got swept by Kentucky. And now Alabama trying to close the door, for the most part, just to secure the series victory.
That's ball 3 high. The Gators are down 6 runs. You have to go back and look at that 8th inning, how big that was. If Alabama didn't score those 2 runs, Florida would be a base runner away from sending the tying run to the plate. That's outside, and all of a sudden, Florida's cooking with the bases juiced. Second appearance for Coach Jackson out of the Alabama dugout. This is most likely a pitching change. Typically, you see 2 appearances in 1 inning would signal a call to the pen. And it does look like Matthew Heiberger's day is indeed concluded. Hagan Banks being thrust in out of the bullpen. He inherits a bases loaded 1-out jam in the 9th. Bama is up 6, 2 outs away from taking this series against the Gators. Second reliever of the game for Alabama, Hagan Banks, is inserted into an or at least a very unenviable spot in this ninth inning. Bases full of Gators with 1 out. Alabama's 2 outs away from taking this series against the Gators. Redshirt senior.
The redshirt senior's 6th appearance, making his way to the mound to close this thing down for Alabama, and has been the guy that Alabama wants to see in that closer position. He's been in a myriad different situations in his long tenure here. He's been a starter his sophomore year, then had to have Tommy John surgery, and coming back, Coach Rob Vaughn said he was literally pitching on guts at 85, 86, but got the velocity back to 90, 92 miles an hour. It's a quick, whippy throw to it, awkward throw to it from the Tommy John surgery.
He starts Kyle Jones off with a breaking ball for a called strike. The former All-American's got hits in 7 of his last 9 games. Hitless today and in this series. A ball on the strike.
Good pitch right there. Had that 2-seam coming back to the plate. Just could not get the strike call.
2-1 to Jones.
Really the biggest threat for the Gators today, along with a solo home run in the second. And the RBI hit by Sear. It's been sporadic, but bases are jammed here in the 9th.
Jones stings it out toward left center field into the gap. Osterhaus makes the grab. Serwick tags. Run comes in to score, but if you're Alabama, you'll take that run for an out. And the Gators are down to their final out of this Saturday matchup.
Sometimes a tough play. Line drive, hard hit. But you're exactly right, Casey. You'll trade that out. Now out. The Gators down to their last out.
Blake Sear gave Florida the lead in the 3rd. That's been their only lead of this series. They led 2-1 at that point. Since that top of the 3rd, Alabama has outscored Florida 7-1. Sear corks it left field. That finds grass and rolls to the track. Curlin comes around to score from second. Miller is held at 3rd. It's an RBI double. 2 RBI day for Blake Sear, and the inning continues for the Gators.
Sear continues his hot hitting. Got a slider up in the zone, shoots it down the left field line. And Casey, how big are those last 2 innings for Alabama in the 7th and the 8th? Still not out of the jam yet. Score now 8-4 Alabama.
Colt Myers represents the last out. In this spot, it would have been Brendan Lawson, but all the way back in the 3rd inning was lifted for a pinch hitter. He has stayed in the game ever since. Quick meeting out toward the plate to maybe just go over a little pre-scout. Myers in a bit of a moonlight situation tonight. He has been productive, a double back in the 6th. Ball 1. In the event Myers reaches base, Carson Bowen, who has Florida's lone home run this series, would represent the possible tying run. (2-0).
And that's where you want to live with a fastball for Banks at 90 miles an hour. Just could not get the call. But you can see that downward action.
Ball 3. In what universe do you possibly give Myers the green light, knowing the tying runs in the on-deck circle?
I would say probably rare with the guy that's sitting in the on-deck circle.
We're not living in the upside down. They didn't give him the green light. 3-1. Florida as a team in this series has drawn 5 walks. They have struck out 21 times. Myers into the air, right center field. Fowler is there. Alabama has a tide roll over the top of Sewell Thomas Stadium. First time in 18 years they take a series against the Gators. They go for their first series sweep of Florida tomorrow at noon since 2002.
And just a sustained offense approach for Alabama, scoring in multiple innings. 5 different innings that they were scoring. Tyler Fay was great on Friday. Zane Adams was good today to get the Tide. That series win that Casey talked about hasn't been done since 2008. But can Alabama find a way to get the sweep, or can Florida turn around on Sunday and find a way to salvage one?
In 3 hours and 3 minutes, Alabama takes game 2 and clinches the series. A big reason why was Brady Neal. 3-hit game for the Alabama right fielder. He joins us on the other side here at Sewell Thomas Stadium with the Crimson Tide taking the series against the Gators in T-Town. Alabama secures its first series victory over the Florida Gators since 2008. They go for the sweep tomorrow at noon, which would be their first since 2002. Big reason why Alabama's been able to do damage against the Gators is the Alabama catalyst in the order, Brady Neal. Right fielder Brady Neal. By the way, Brady, defensively in right field, how are you liking the outfield so far?
Hey, it's not bad. It's something different. Just trying to stay locked into the game out there, waiting for the ball to come to me. So.
Hey, Brady, you talked about starting out in right field. I know you're the catcher, too. Does that kind of take a little pressure on you? Your focus offensively has clearly been really good.
Yeah, no, I honestly like it. Get a little break every once in a while. Go out there, have some fun, talk to the fans, catch a couple fly balls, and go in there and rake. So. Well,
there's no doubt your last 2 days, you had a good night on Friday. We talked about Tyler Fay kind of setting the table for today, but really offensively, you've had 2 great days. Talk about what last night, how that propelled you into getting some big hits today for Alabama.
Yeah, no, 100%. Just got to keep it going, man. We played really good as a team, like as a whole last night, so just keep that going game by game. We got a long season ahead of us, just stacking good days on top of each other. So.
Brady, having a chance to talk with your coach, Rob Vaughn, earlier in the week, he said that he's noticed you're playing a lot more free than you have in the past. With what you've been able to do recently in Kentucky and now this second week in an SEC play, where would you grade your game right now? Where do you feel like you're playing at, and how much better do you think you can go as the season goes on?
Yeah, no, I feel like I'm in a good spot, but, I mean, just like every baseball player would sit here and tell you, like, we're never satisfied, man. We're always trying to get better. Like, there's always better things I can be better at, better, you know, have a better approach, a different arm coming out of the pen, just stuff like that. I mean, I like where I'm at, but I'm never satisfied, man. Just trying to have another good day tomorrow and keep stacking them.
Brady, what statement do you hope that people will notice from you guys, seeing what you guys did to Liam Peterson yesterday and Aiden King today?
Yeah, no, just when we have I mean, we always have a good plan that our coaches put together for us, but when we work as a group, like as a pack, that's been our real focus. Like when 1 through 9's working together, trying to run off good at bats to get the pitcher out of there, that's just like, that's Alabama baseball. We're better when we work together, and when we work together, we have success, so.
Over 500 at the plate through 2 games, 4 RBI. Big reason why Alabama could possibly take a sweep tomorrow is Brady Neal in the lineup. Brady, always appreciate the time. Good luck tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
First time in 18 years, Alabama takes the series against Florida. They look for the sweep tomorrow. Crimson Tide taken by a final of 8-4 for former Alabama outfielder David Kindred. Our entire SEC crew here in Tuscaloosa. I'm Casey Roll saying so long from Sewell Thomas Stadium. Bama 8, Florida 4. Game 3 to conclude the series tomorrow at high noon at the Joe here at the Capstone, Tuscaloosa, Alabama.